Promethean Essentials number 2, the basics. So I'm just going to run you through now some basic functionality of the board. So first of all, let's start with the absolute essentials. You've obviously got to have the PC and projector switched on. Check. You've got to have the Active Inspire software running. Check. If you're not sure where that is, you should find it in from the Start button, All Programs. There should be a folder called Active Software, and within that something called Active Inspire, and it's that software you need to start to launch the board. And then just pick up a pen and off you go. It has to be the active pen, the Promethean pen, and it'll look like that, or this other pen. And that really then becomes your mouse as well as your whiteboard pen. There are no batteries involved, so you don't need to worry about batteries running out. And a quick tip with the pen, if you hold down the pen button and hover, that will give you a right click effect. Next thing is the floating toolbar. I'm sure you can see it here, and just to show you what I mean by floating, I can move it around the page and put it where it's not in the way of whatever else I'm doing. And as you can see, it's packed with different features and icons that you'll start to get a grip on as you start to practice with the software. Basically the way it works is you pick up a function, so the pen. With the pen I can also choose a colour, and you can then draw with the pen. Pick another function, the eraser. I can now erase my drawing. And you'll start, as I say, to see the different ways in which it works. You've already seen me drag the toolbar about. How did I do that? Well, if you just click in the grey area at the top, that allows you then to move it to, as I say, a place where it is not in the way. And you can also roll it up into a smaller version, so it just becomes a very small toolbar, so it's totally out of the way. And then you can unroll it when you want to have the greater choice of functions. The file menu gives you the usual options as you would expect. So if I go to File, I can open a previous flip chart I've worked on, or I can save this flip chart or save as if I wish. So the usual things that you would expect there with any software. What's perhaps slightly less intuitive, because if you save a flip chart, that is not going to be in a version that students would be able to access. You couldn't send them the file because the file wouldn't make sense in the software they have available. What you need to do, if you've done a brilliant mind map or something in the session and you want to share it with students or put it onto your learning platform, you'll need to export the flip chart to PDF. And the way that you do this with the Promethean board is to go to File and not export, strangely enough, but print. And you will see on the print option here, you have, let me just point it out with a drawing. So if I go back to my pen function, which it won't allow me to do. So anyway, can you see there it says export to PDF? So that will actually not print it at all, but actually make a copy of it as a PDF document that you can then share with your students. Adding a new page, well, you can actually just use the navigation buttons that we have here of moving to the previous page and moving to the next page, because if there isn't a next page, clicking on the next page button will create a new page. So that's fairly straightforward. So be aware of the navigation buttons that are here on my toolbar, because they'll also add you a new page if need be. And that is the basic functionality to get you started with the Promethean board.